And welcome everybody to a new series here on JCTV, the Road and Plate Palm Rat Golf Series. Race number 1 of Season 4 is going to be at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This league, well, it's primarily around road courses and plate tracks. And I'm really looking forward to this series. Name you might recognize, Cameron Caldwell. He started racing in this series and caught my interest, and well, we got it to be able to broadcast. So I'm pretty excited, looking forward to this one. Should be a whole lot of fun. And this league, they use the Xfinity or B class cars. So we're gonna learn some things here tonight as far as the format and some new names as well. But I'm looking forward to it. Just over a minute left in practice. I'm Joshua Coppernoll. I'm going to be joined by Jonathan Canfield. He'll be here momentarily. So just going to run the show for a moment till he is able to get in here. And it looks like Aaron Smith currently is the top of the board in practice, with Brian Molitor in second, Brandon Brush third, Dustin Bali fourth, and Matt Schlusser in fifth. We'll learn names. We will, I promise. Practice here just about to come to a close. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we are looking at for the upcoming schedule in Season 4. So, tonight, of course, the Indy Oval. Next week is Navarro and Daytona Road. Got Atlanta Oval. And the list just goes on throughout the different tracks. A little bit of information as well about the league underneath. 15-minute sprints, 35-minute feature. I believe that's for the road courses only. But qualifying has started, so we'll go ahead and take a look at qualifying. Qualifying is a total of 10 minutes long, but drivers get 2 laps. We are currently watching Andrew White as he is exiting pit road. And now getting his car wound up. Current track temp, 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Andrew White going to come to the green. Start lap number 1 for the 2 machine. Got the left sides right down there on the paint in turn 2. Might see some drivers try to get those left tires just underneath the paint, but trying not to hit the curbs down there. It's like a little bit of a slide there for White. Trying to paint that line. Oh, and caught the wall off turn 4. That is actually, I believe, going to invalidate the lap here. As it does. Aaron Smith, top of the board. 52.613 for the number 70. Cameron Caldwell goes P, well, now 3 as Thompson took over second. That Stoner took second. Aaron Smith now coming through turn 4. Now into the straightaway. 52.613 was lap number 1 for Smith. And not an improvement, a 6.97 lap number 2, but still top of the board. And Cameron Caldwell goes back to second for the moment. Michael Kruger on track. Kruger is going to make his way into 3. And you see him with those left side tires way down there under the paint. And P5, 52.912 is lap number 1 for Michael Kruger. He is now working on lap number 2. And off turn 4, it is going to be... We'll see at the line if he's able to improve. And not an improvement. A 9.54 is lap number 2 for Michael Kruger. So his 52.912 will stand. Currently P6. See if there's anybody else. Devin Jack on track. $52.967 for the 49. P9 so far. Jack is going to be entering turn 3 here. Trying to get all that he can. Off turn 4. Lap 1, 52.967. Lap 2, is it any improvement? No. Still P10. 977. Find if there's anybody else in. Yeah, Dustin Bali. Dustin Bali's still qualifying. P3 after lap number 1. 52.665. Now, what I am noticing is that lap 1 is the fastest lap for most of these guys that we have watched. So we'll see here for Dustin Bali if he can improve. And no. A 7.45 was lap number 2. So Bali even going to not improve on the time, but P3 so far, still respectable. And I don't see anybody else on track. That can still qualify. Chuck Labano has already taken his qualifying time. Or qualifying laps, rather. So that might do it for qualifying with 29 drivers taking a lap time out of 30 that are in here. So I think we might have Jonathan Canfield now. So, John, how you doing?
Doing good here, Josh. I'm happy to be back. Not only just here for this new series, but also just back with JCTV in general, back around the iRacers. It's been a while. I mean, for those who know me, if you want to know where I've been, you can always come ask me. But happy to be here. Excited to see this new series take place and ready for whatever adventures come our way with this series.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I really am. I think from what I've heard from my buddy Cameron Caldwell, and from what I've seen so far, it looks pretty fun. So I am expecting no less. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Drivers do get one fast repair to use, and if you use it in the first race, you're able to use it, or you still have another one, rather, to use in the second race. Kind of like a heat and a feature type thing, but in this case, everybody will be on track for both races. So qualifying here, it is wrapping up with 5 seconds left. Usually we do picks to win. Problem is, I only know 3 names in this field. Cameron Caldwell, Michael Kruger, and Dakota Knoll. And so I don't know if we could do picks to win, but I don't know these guys, their racecraft, how they do. So we won't even worry about it. We'll save the picks to win for next time. Which, well, again, there's a lot of road courses as well. So I don't know. Might be interesting. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineup. And starting on the pole, it is Aaron Smith. Brian Molitor starting in second. Third, Dustin Bally. Jay Bast will start fourth. Fifth, Michael McCoy. Cameron Caldwell will start in sixth. Michael Kruger, seventh. Brandon Brush will start eighth. Matt Schluser in ninth. Devin Jack will start 10th.
Back in row 6, starting in that 11th position will be Daniel Ott. 12th, his outside is going to be Sean Johnson. Take a look back at row 7. We're going to have Samuel Stoner and Mark Royce. Row 8, you're going to see Mike Thompson and Laura Wiseman. Row 9, you're going to see Chuck Labano and James Moore. And your 10th row is going to be Robert Brobst and Dakota Knoll.
Starting 21st is going to be Evan Hoopchak. Ryan Campbell will start 22nd. 23rd, Andrew White. Brandon Carl starts 24th. 25th, Benson Weaver. Nick Saraf start 26th. We'll figure it out at some point. Tom Wendt will start 27th. Kenneth Estep, 28th. Chris Winslow, 29th. And Michael Goodyear will start 30th, and I believe that is the field for race number 1.
Now, Josh, you talk about the names that you recognize. I recognize most of those same names, but there's a name right now that I'm recognizing strictly off of his paint scheme. And it just so happens to be our Polster. That blank yellow car, Aaron Smith, I have seen a couple different leagues, and he's very, very fast.
His I rating is only 5,753. Base car is in. We're getting ready. 16 laps inside the restart zone. Green flag in the air here for race number 1. Immediately, Aaron Smith, he pulls clear, and Bali goes to the inside of Molitor. And Bali going to be clear.
Settling in here as we go through turn number 2. Going to see drafts start to take place as we go down this long back straightaway, but keep in mind that, like we've seen in real life here, once we get in those corners, these cars are going to be that corner outside. It could bring some negative air. The low line is going to be the preferred line here as we see some side-by-side action going through turn 3.
A little bit of side-by-side. It was Brush with McCoy. McCoy is ahead of Brush. I'm sorry, that was Brush with Schluser.
Out front, looks like we've had a change for the lead. Looks like Bali has taken that lead away from Smith, and he's running away with it. He's got a gap.
He took off.
But as I was saying earlier, you got to wonder the play of the game here. These cars, actually, the tire wear you talked about, that the second lap was slow. Right now, we're in that second lap, and tire wear is already starting to take place on these Xfinity cars. So, 16 laps, I don't see many people really wanting to hold back, but maybe hold back just a tiny bit gives you that little bit of advantage when you come down to the last couple laps here in this race.
I agree with you. 100% there. It's not much, but it'll still do something to the tires. You got Cameron Caldwell trying to make a pass now for 4th. That is Bast on the outside. And Michael Kruger going to try to join as well. Kruger now under Jay Bast.
Talk about tires, but those are two guys right there that you just mentioned, Kruger and Caldwell, that I don't see holding back anything right now, especially in such a short time. And if I had to look at two guys that are just good on raw speed and can push like this for this short amount of time, it's going to be those two.
Behind Schluser trying to pass here.
It's getting a little dicey there.
Let's get around Bass.
Seen a little bit right there where Schluser, kind of what I was talking about with the arrow. It looked like Bass was kind of, just holding that car down a little bit, making sure Schluser stayed on his line, and Schluser definitely looked like he was slipping a little bit, still able to get the pass done. He is not having an easy time getting by the pass.
And just want to point out, these engines are pretty loud. We'll get the sound settings adjusted as well here when we can. But right now, everybody strung out Drivers trying to make passes when they are able to. Dustin Bally still way out ahead by, right now it's just over 7/10 of a second. Fastest car that last time by, and I am impressed. Just absolutely took off. And, you know, I mean, we're talking this race being only 16 laps. If Bally is out here pushing hard for those 16 laps, will Smith be able to get back up to him? Well, now it's down to 6/10 of a second after 5 laps ran, so 11 to go still in this race. I'm interested to see how it's going to play out. Oh, yeah.
Close up a little bit more of that corner. It's down to half a second now.
And Smith is really going to be getting into that draft to Bally here, and that's just going to help Smith even more.
It's like I mentioned earlier, I mean, you could push really hard out of the front here and get a good start. I think that's what Bally did. But Smith just stayed true to himself, and he's not, you can see it in the corners, he's not overworking the car, he's not doing anything crazy, he's just slowly and methodically reeling that 24 back in, and I think with 10 to go, he's going to get there. And it's funny, we seen this earlier this year with the real-life Xfinity cars, somebody gets slowly reeled in, and we could see a similar result, similar type of battle.
Side-by-side battle. Back here, I believe that is Rush, who was making a pass. Jack was there on the inside. Now they're all single file. Looks like McCoy lost a couple positions. That was to Brush and Jack. But Michael McCoy now down a couple of positions into 10th. So McCoy battling with Johnson. Johnson is able to get around as well. McCoy fighting back here, trying to take a peek to the inside of Johnson. Settles in the line. The gap is now 0.3 of a second between Bally and Smith for the race lead.
But Smith's not coming alone. That third car of Molitor, he's just hanging in the draft right there, and he's getting pulled up with Smith. So, I mean, we're getting ready to see a three-horse race here for the lead in just a couple laps.
Tom went there on the apron.
Looks like a 28 machine might have had some damage. Not sure where he would have gotten it. We haven't seen any major incidents on track. And it might have just been a little. I see it looked like something on the right side. Doesn't look like anything now that we're looking at it.
Possibly also could have used a fast repair. Side-by-side battle. Kruger and Schluser. Kruger losing a position here.
I think Kruger is now falling into that category of, I was talking about earlier, he pushed real hard to get up there. Now he's going to just try and mitigate how many spots he's losing as we're getting ready to see a pass for the lead here.
And Smith does get around Bally, but Bally trying to fight back. He was even lower than Smith there through the corner.
Getting a little bit lower, trying to find some clean air to the nose. Clean air to the nose is going to help that car turn better right now. And Bally needs to look in his mirror because he's not going to be done yet. He's still got Molitor getting ready to breathe down his throat.
And they do have quite a gap to Cameron Caldwell sitting in 4th. So if these two really start battling like, or I'm sorry, these three really start battling like crazy, that'll be not long, but longer if Caldwell is able to catch up.
The more they battle, the closer Cameron Caldwell is going to be able to get. But right now, just no help for that 21. as he's got a gap behind him to Schluser, who's in 5th place. And that gap is so tremendous that it's no draft to Caldwell to get him up here. And he's not able to drag any draft off of these front 3.
Altor with better corner. They're off of 2. Not able to do anything with it. Down the back straightaway and into 3. He is pressuring Pauly.
Keeps peeking that nose just ever so slightly lower, trying to get a little bit of clean air on that nose throughout the corner. Also trying to just chop the corner, get a little bit of a run if he can at Smith. Smith not pulling away. Molitor not wanting to make a move yet. Definitely close enough to take an attempt, but content right now to just run in that 3rd spot. Maybe trying to help keep the 24 close and give himself a shot at the lead here towards the end.
Now here's the thing for Molitor. He can make a move. And he's not going to have trouble from Cameron Caldwell trying to pass him. The problem is, if he's not able to make this work, and he gets stuck under Pauly, they're trying right now. It could really cost them both time on Smith, and you're seeing this right here. You're seeing Smith start to pull away because Pauly and Molitor are racing each other.
And don't look back now. Schluser's actually starting to close up on Caldwell a little bit. It's down to about 7/10.
And I think we're about to have a battle between Kruger and Bast. Oh man, loose. Tight.
Right now, I think Molitor has the faster car. It's just we're at a point right now, and even though this is the shorter of the 2 races, we're at a point right now where tires are so worn it's going to be hard to pass. You're going to have to set up your passes, and this is a good test for later on, as we're going to have a longer stint in the 2nd race. So,
Molitor ate the wall.
It's a good time to find out what you got and if you can make that kind of a move.
Yeah, that is going to slow him down. He should be able to hold on to finish 3rd here, as long as it is not a meatball, but it might have caused quite a bit of damage to have some wheel damage to that Ford machine.
Cosmetically, it looks okay, but like you said, Josh, wheel damage and even rear toe could knock the toe out of the rear end, and that could be all she wrote. Looked like he hit with the right front mostly, so what you're worried about there is just that little bit of steering angle. Now it might not turn the way you want to.
Look back here, and Bast was able to get around Kruger. Kruger trying to fight back on the inside of Bast. There are 2 laps to go in race number 1 here at Indianapolis, but Kruger just going to have to settle behind Bast for now. His leader is about to take the white flag. We've got battle right here. Of Campbell.
That's going to be the 84 of Wiseman, battle just outside the top 20 right now.
But the white flag has been taken. Smith, half a second ahead of Pauly. Yeah, Smith enters turn 3. Through 3 cleanly, and as long as no J.R. Hildebrand happens here. Aaron Smith off turn 4. Smith will take the checkered flag.
You know what I noticed that's going to come into play later? From what I see, never looked like he slipped once. That entire, what was that, 16 laps I think we just did there?
Yeah, 16 laps.
Did not slip once. Kept the car under him, kept his cool, kept his composure, drove it right back up to the lead, even with however big of a gap that Molly got at first. We've got breaking after to checkered there. It's going to be Campbell spun around.
And that does it for race 1. I'm not sure. Yeah, it reset. So we've got 3 minutes in between race 1 and race 2. I don't think the results are going to pull up because of it switching over. Yeah, they're not. I took a picture of it, though. Aaron Smith did win race number 1. Dustin Bally finishes 2nd. Brian Molitor, Cameron Caldwell, Matt Schluser round out the top 5. Jay Bass finishes 6th. Michael Kruger 7th. Devin Jack 8th. Brandon Brush 9th. Sean Johnson rounds out the top 10. 11th. Michael McCoy. Daniel Ott finishes 12th. Samuel Stoner 13th. Mike Thompson 14th. James Moore finishes 15th. Mark Royce 16th. Chuck Labano 17th. Andrew White 18th. Robert Ropes 19th. Evan Hoopchak 20th. Laura Weisman 21st. Brandon Carl 22nd. Ryan Campbell 23rd. Dakota Knoll 24th. Benson Weaver 25th. Kenneth Estep 26th. Chris Winslow 27th. Nick Sarif 28th. And 1 lap down in 29th was Tom Wendt. A minute 30 left in this warm-up. And I'd like to remind you that this series, the Palm Rat Golf Series, Road Plate, we're sponsored by Palm Rat Golf, and life's really not that complicated, and neither should it be when looking for golf clothes that fit your lifestyle. Palm Rat Golf is designed to allow you to move seamlessly from the office to the fairway to hanging with friends and family. Visit palmratgolf.com today to browse their collection of fine golf apparel, including polos, pullovers, pants, and more. I don't know about you, but John, I personally am pretty bad at golf. But
most I've done is mini golf. So
mini golf. I'm pretty good at mini golf.
Can't really judge anything off of mini golf when you talk about actual golf.
Yeah, definitely not. But maybe visiting Palm Rat Golf can get us better at golf.
We dress the part. We've got to be able to be the part, right?
Hey, sounds good to me. I'd be lucky to hit the ball 100 yards, though.
I've got a couple local golf courses out here where I moved to, so we'll fly you out.
Sounds good. Checkered flag is waving on the warm-up in between race 1 and race 2. We will catch up with Smith there. Interview him. Just want to make sure it's a proper interview and not rush too much. So, race number 2. Let's see the starting lineup for this one. And That ain't right. Okay. Well, Sean Johnson will start from the pole position. Brandon Brush, Devin Jack, Michael Kruger, Jay Bast. That's your top 5. Matt Schluser starts 6th. Cameron Caldwell 7th. 8th is going to be Brian Maltor, Dustin Bally, and Aaron Smith, the top 10. So, looks like the top 10 were inverted. And 11th through 29th going to be where they finished. My guess, as finishing race 1, that is, as the field is now rolling, and we're getting ready for race number 2. 32 laps. Make up this race.
So we're doubling the length of what we just seen. The little sampler of 16 laps, we're doubling it.
And we'll see if that's any better. Adjusting the engine sounds a little bit as we get ready for race number 2. Pace car gonna pull down pit road. 32 Johnson. Steps on the gas. We are green, and actually some tire spinning there. It's Brush. A little bit ahead of Johnson. They are side by side. Much more even start. They're 3 wide in the back. No, in the middle.
3 wide in the back, and you mentioned Brush getting the better start there. Good thing to note for those watching at home is that initial... Oh, hang on to it. Johnson was sideways there getting into 2.
And this is going to allow Michael Kruger... Well, no, never mind. Here we go. Loser. He's making a move. As well as Jack. So Kruger, P2. The battle for everywhere else is ongoing. Jack underneath Johnson. Caldwell now underneath Johnson. He tucks into line. Bast and Molitor side by side. And that is for 7th place.
And the fun part about this invert is we talked earlier about how Smith was just patient. You never saw his car slide once. Well, now he's got to do not only just be smooth, but he's got to survive, and these guys in front of him are going to do everything they can to gain position, but also try to keep him behind.
So Michael Kruger has the lead, and you will see on screen he is in the 41 on my end. I'm fairly certain that Cameron Caldwell got him squared away with a scheme here for road and plate. Trading Paint's just being mean right now, so that's why you'll see him in the 41. Johnson and Jack side by side for 4th place. Maltor side by side with Caldwell, just behind these guys. Maltor settles in. Well, he gets past Caldwell. Meanwhile, Johnson and Jack are still fighting. Caldwell was able to get back underneath Molitor.
Just getting ready to say, Josh, keeping an eye on the guys that just finished 1, 2, 3. Molitor being one of those guys struggling to get by Caldwell right now, but it looks like he's holding on better than Bally, who actually started just ahead of Smith. Smith has already gotten by Bally, and Smith is on his way up through this field right now.
Yeah, Smith currently P8. The way things stand. Side-by-side battle back here. That is going to be Samuel Stoner and Mike Thompson. With Mark Royce joining into the party here. Royce, he's going to get past Stoner. Single file.
Schleizer's starting to put some pressure on Kruger here, though.
Yes,
just
he
hanging
is.
right there.
4/1000th of a second quicker than Kruger that last time by. Not much, but he's there. He can't get too much closer. Side by side right here, Sean Johnson and Devin Jack.
Johnson continues his slow fall. He's really loose down there on the bottom. Looks similar to what he had going on earlier when he had a car in his outside for the lead. It's just, he's very, very loose and very behind in his steering there. Now he's going to be under attack from Caldwell and Baltimore.
Yeah, Caldwell should.
Oh, Cam's loose.
Struggling.
As well. He's running him up just ever so slightly. Not able to get all the way to the bottom. Again, not able to get to the bottom there with car on his outside. Struggling to get that car rotated.
He's got the draft from Maltor now. Maltor's helping to push. And that is Caldwell. That's Johnson kind of all by himself.
Yeah, but now Maltor's in a bad spot. He's going to get loose. Slight contact. Maltor's in that same vulnerable position.
He's going to get by. He powered it down. Here comes Smith. Aaron Smith to the inside. Johnson just needs a break. And it doesn't look like one is coming.
And that might have been one of the few wiggles we've seen out of that 70 car here tonight. Just like I said earlier, though, just that air from the car on the outside, it affects these cars so much. But Johnson continues his slow fall here. As now Bass is going to look to his inside. He's going to try to block. That's not going to work very well.
Might have slowed him down a little bit. Bass still looking under. This kind of puts Bally under attack for more.
Johnson's still really loose up there on that outside lane.
Oh, man.
Contact.
Very little. Bass still trying. Bally got loose. Bass almost clear of Johnson, but Johnson just hanging on to the outside right now. Kind of right at that door. Quarter area. Bally trying everything he can to stay there with Bast. And
Bast's going to clear himself. Bally's got... there he goes. He's got help. No, he's going to get put almost 3 wide. Bally gets put in a box there. He's going to have to defend now.
He is struggling a little tight there.
The 12 is going to use Johnson as a pick to try and gain position here.
Moore is not able to continue to stay down there. Is clear for the moment. Going to try once again. Entering turn 1. Settles in. Bally's able to get down and start breathing once again. Things are, however, getting a little bit closer for the race lead. But Kruger and Schluser pulling away from Brush.
Kruger doing a great job just keeping his car smooth right now. Doesn't look like he's burning up his tires very badly, as we've seen a bunch of other drivers already have to do early on here, battling for position and being side by side. We've seen a lot of tire wear going into play here. You see Schluser, excuse me, right behind him, trying to use a different line. Looks like he's trying to enter higher in 1 and cut down, and now he's going to enter lower in 2 and try to come out, and he's going to have a run here. Just not able to break that little wall of air. Kruger's going to have to block here, though. Schluser's got to run.
And taking a peek to the inside is Schluser. They're going to be even. Kruger up the racetrack, not quite down in a defending position. I think Kruger's just going to settle. Maybe he's going to have to. Schluser is able to get the position completed. The pass completed for position, so now put Schluser in the lead. And already about a car length ahead of Kruger.
Schluser going to now take control and try to see if he can get pulled away. Kruger's still tucked in that second position. Now he's running the lower line, trying to get that run off the corner. Brush is going to be your third car. Fourth is going to be Jack Caldwell, going to be running in that fifth spot. In that sixth. Smith going to be seventh, and that's about your front pack there. Gap back to Smith, to Bast. Up over a second right now.
We just saw a pass for third place as Jack was able to get around Brush. Look at Kruger. He closed in on Schluser. $20 laps to go here at Indianapolis. The Road and Plate Palm Rat Golf Series. Battle for fifth. Maltor underneath the 21 of Caldwell. Caldwell might lose another one here too. And Smith chasing him down the track. Smith underneath.
Caldwell all over the back bumper of Maltor, and Caldwell now in the wall.
I don't know if Caldwell realized there was a car underneath him. Caldwell now down to 7th place. See, the field is really strung out. Right here, Smith, he wants to continue to gain positions. Hounding Maltor.
Ready to come up on halfway here, and you see the progress of Smith and Maltor. Both are 1-2 finishers from that short stint, are now 5th and 6th. I mean, relatively, I feel like both of them have decent cars if they can just keep mitigating it. And you look at, or excuse me, Maltor was our 3rd place finisher. Our 2nd place finisher was Bali, who's looking like he's still struggling with the back half of the top 10 here.
Yeah, and Bali was battling with Royce there for a moment. Pit stop is happening. Jack, Caldwell, Johnson, Moore, and Brobst. Let's watch Caldwell here. Four tires. Indeed, left side's up. Four tires, fuel. And he is off and away. Here comes Kruger and Schluser as well.
And they bring a couple other guys who were in the back half of the top 10 with them.
Oh my goodness!
One lock up in a wreck on pit road.
That is McCoy around.
And credit to whichever car that was that hit the wall and got themselves either all at forward or completely towed. Credit to whoever that was. That could have been bigger than it was.
I'm not sure who that was.
It looks like the car just populated back there on pit road. I'm not sure who that was.
Dakota Knoll.
Dakota Knoll did a great job there, actually, getting that thing out of the way. And shame that he had such a big run there on the pit road and locked up and hit the wall. But again, good job getting it out of the way and not causing a bigger incident there.
Smoltor, current leader.
Smith came down pit road that time by. Wonder if that pulls him Molt or if he's going to stay out there.
Here's the battle for what should be the race lead once everything cycles through. Schluser and Kruger. Kruger is sideways.
Look up in front, though, you got Smith coming off of pit road. Where's that gap going to be? Did he gain anything? Looks like he did. He definitely did gain a little bit there on pit road. Coming out of 2. Or coming out of 1 there. But he's definitely going to have to work hard to reel these guys in.
Actually, I'm wrong. Caldwell is ahead of these guys.
Caldwell did pit a lap prior, so he's going to cycle ahead. Does that 1 lap prior, does that hurt him or hinder him?
Oh, we got
somebody going around in front of him.
I couldn't tell who that was. We are still green.
I can hear some carnage in the background. It looks like they're rolling down there on the apron.
Robert Brobst. Yeah, let's see what happened here. To the 5. Caught the wall. Slid. And just towed it. So the race leader, once I find him, there we go. It's gonna be Jack. Caldwell in second. And we are at 14 laps to go. Schluser is comfortably ahead of Kruger for now. What kind of battle is Caldwell gonna put up, though?
Caldwell has proven in past not only with JCTV, but in any league or any race that you've raced with him. He shows that he can definitely put up a fight. Not going to let Schluser get by very easily. And I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure I've seen that 49 down pit road too. Our current leader, Jack, he's been down pit road too, so he's ahead of Caldwell.
Yes, everybody has completed their pit stops now.
So you got to wonder, how long can this 49 hold on to? Where does his pace fall off at? I mean, with the advantage he has right now, I don't think he's pushing very hard.
I definitely wouldn't be. He pit the same time Caldwell did, 6 laps ago. Schluser and Kruger, 5 laps ago. Aaron Smith, 4 laps ago.
Loser on the pit stops right now appears to be that 4 of Molitor, back in 8th position. You look at Smith. Smith's up in the 5th spot. And Molitor pit 1 lap later, and looks like he lost time on pit road.
Yeah, Molitor, once he crosses the line, it'll be 4 laps ago since he pit. So he's got fresher tires than everybody else. It's just a matter of 11 to go. Currently 7th place. Is it going to help him?
And he's also 5.8 seconds back. He is gaining every lap. But how much is he losing by pushing this much? And the guys he's got to pass, we've been watching all night. Bast is not an easy driver to pass. We know Smith, Kruger, Caldwell, Schluser aren't all guys that have been up front all night. Haven't seen much out of Jack. He kind of just been hanging around, not really up in the front, but now got the track position on the pit stop. We can only assume he's not going to be easy to pass. So, I mean, from this point forward, Molitor, as much as he needs to put his best laps together, is also going to have to make quick work of each guy that he passes, and it's not going to be easy, as we've already seen these guys put up great battles.
And by the way, Schluser has gotten past Caldwell. Volley back here. Battling Daniel Ott.
It'll be a battle for the 10th position on track. Volley kind of at a point of just trying to recover. You look at how good of a race he ran in the first race, and you think what could have been here if he just either followed or stayed ahead of both Smith and Molitor. And he's not that far behind Molitor either. I mean, Molitor's only up to the 7th spot, so, I mean, there's 2 cars in between them. But probably just hasn't seemed to have the speed in traffic that both Molitor and Smith have had. Smith, it looks like he's making a move right there by Kruger and Caldwell. Oh, he's going to get a little sideways down there. Caldwell big sideways on entry there.
Trying so hard to fend off Smith. He slides to Caldwell. Smith underneath. Side by side. Smith will have the preferred line going into 1. Caldwell just backs off. He knows he doesn't have anything for Smith.
And that's a smart move by Cameron Caldwell, because he has a nice gap back there to the 6th place car. So he can walk out of here with the top 5 tonight if he just gives that spot up and keeps running a smooth pace without burning up those tires. It looks like somebody down there on the apron is having issues. I mean, the car's shaking.
It's Kenneth the Step.
Something's broke on that machine. Not sure what happened to him, but definitely some big damage.
I believe go down into pit road. Kruger, so he got past Cameron Caldwell.
Kruger's got a battle ahead of him still, though. Catching Schluser's one thing. Schluser is catching Jack, but Kruger has Smith all down his back bumper right now. That is not... That's going to be a tough battle between the two of them all together. Be interested to see what happens here down into 3.
And Smith is to the inside of Kruger. Smith going to pass Kruger. Only one driver ran a 53-second lap time that last time by. Everybody else was in the 54s or 55s. Aaron Smith was the guy that last time by. So he is now in 3rd place, still 1.5 seconds back of the leader. So a full second back of Schluser. 6 laps to go. Now, good news is, for Smith, if Jack and Schluser start battling pretty hard here, it's good.
Even at the rate he's closing right now, watching the timing on the side of the screen, he's closing. He's going to get there.
Oh, yeah. Even after passing Kruger, still faster than the top 2.
And significantly faster. Cut down another 3-4 tenths just in those 2 sets of corners. Watch through these corners how much he can try to cut down. Because now it's under a second.
So one thing is, if Schluser and Jack start battling before Smith gets up there, if Schluser gets past Jack, Smith cannot waste his time. Or if Schluser doesn't do anything, he can't get up there to Jack, Smith still cannot waste his time. He has got to get past whoever it is in 2nd place to be able to go up there and challenge for the leader, especially now with 5 laps remaining.
Well, you see him now getting within 6 tenths for about a half a second. Almost a half a second there. 6 tenths right now is the difference from him to the leader. 2 tenths behind is Schluser, so he's within a half second of Schluser, which means he's going to have these big runs coming down the straightaways. He's in the draft, and now he's just got to try and make quick work of it.
Off turn 4, coming at 4 laps to go here from Indianapolis. 24 driver still on the lead lap. Oh, Schluser wide there, off of 1. I don't know if he caught the wall. It was very, very close, and this is just going to help Smith here. Caution is out. And I believe I have found what for. Mark Royce battling with the 12. James Moore. Side by side, and 2 cars going for the same real estate.
Yeah, it looks like one of those late race, battling for position type of moves, and it's going to be a kind of a back and forth there. I feel like it's just 2 drivers going for a position that they both feel like they have a right to go for, and contact made.
Coming to the end of a race. Drivers trying to get every position possible. So, we're going to have a green-white checker. Tires seem like they matter.
They certainly do, and I think if you're anywhere inside I'd say the top 5, maybe even the top 7, you're probably not coming down pit road unless, they all come down at the same time. But I'd say if you're anything outside of maybe 7, so if you're a Johnson, which we've seen him struggle with his car tonight, Johnson back, I feel like you come and get tires, you set yourself up to be able to be a rocket ship coming to the end. As it looks like the majority of the field's going to come down. We got 2 staying out.
3 staying out. Bali joins them. So right now it's Maltor. And actually, I think I got faked out by somebody. Bali.
Schluser, Maltor, and Bali.
Oh, there was a third. We'll be okay. Hoopchak. Carl. And went. So 6 drivers staying out here. Now we're here on pit road. Is there any strategy? I see a lot of 4 tires. Any 2?
Doesn't look like anybody took 2.
Jay Best. James Moore. Brandon Brush. Mike Thompson. Chuck Labano. They all had under 10 seconds in their box. Laura Wiseman had exactly 10 seconds, as well as Ryan Campbell. I'm going to assume those are all 2-tire stops. You can't get 4 tires that quickly. It's all depending on where they came out. So the whole field.
Actually won your race off pit road. Comes out just ahead of Jack. Jack gets ahead of Smith.
I'm interested to see how this cycles out, because we have no tires ahead of 2 tires ahead of 4 tires. Who's going to prevail? I honestly don't think the no tires will.
Well, and what you've got right now is, we talked about it, 6 cars stayed out. How quickly can you dispose of 6 cars in 3 laps?
If you're on 2 tires, it's going to be 2 laps. We're green, white, checkered. Man, I don't know. All I know is I'm glad I'm not a crew chief.
Looks like we are going to double them back up here. And this is almost a series in this type of position where you look at it and you say, I mean, this is just me personally. I almost want to choose here because you'd be interested to see what people would choose based on the tire strategies.
So I have word that there is only one green, white, checkered here in the Road and Plate Palm Rat Golf Series. So the way this works, if you're unfamiliar with iRacing's green, white, checkered rules, with this only being one attempt, if they get the white flag, they can wreck. No caution will come out. Usually, they'll race back to the checkered. Now, if they get the green and they wreck before the leader gets to the white, race goes under yellow. We finish under yellow. So, something to keep an eye on. A lot of drivers going to be antsy here. These guys have been doing an incredible job. This is only one caution, and it's this.
Well,
right
it
now,
throws a side of this racing that we've not gotten to see yet. We haven't gotten to see an actual dash.
Exactly. So, here we go. I mean,
We know they can do the long run. Now we get to see what they do in a short run.
The way it looks, Jay Bass is in 7th place on 2 tires. Devin Jack in 8th place on 4 tires. So I think everybody else that took 2 tires was not able to get ahead of anybody else with 4 tires except for Bass. So keep an eye on that 53 machine in row number 4. Pace car is in. They're heading into the restart zone, and tires going all over the place. Green flag back out.
Somehow every car stays straight with all that wheel spin. No actual crash, but we got cars scattered everywhere back there in the middle of the pack, and Schluser's going to be leading them off into the corner.
And Big John! Caution is out. That ends it. And poor Kruger.
The worst of that one. Somebody roll the medics.
Kenneth a step as well.
Go back and take a look at where it all started.
Oh, 4 wide.
4 wide will do it. Oh, and I'm not sure who that was. They just got into the car on the outside, and that's the car that hooked Kruger. The blue car just behind Michael Kruger, following Michael Kruger.
Yeah, I believe that was the 12, James Moore.
That appears like it could have been James Moore.
That
would be James Moore.
Tom Wendt. Also right there.
The 28 car was the car that got squeezed out to the outside and actually got hooked into Kruger.
So, Matt Schlueser. Nobody really likes winning under yellow, but as a racer, you still take it. And I'm sure Matt Schlueser definitely is going to take this one here. He is going to cross the line. Well, we'll wait. And now coming to the line, Matt Schlueser. Across the Art of Bricks, he is tonight's winner in the Palm Rat Golf Series. Here in race round number 1 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A track with so much history and not much of a burnout for Schlueser. So he is going to quickly tow it back to the crew. Let's take a look at the unofficial results. And finishing first is Matt Schlueser. Brian Maltor finishing second. Dustin Bally third. I see familiar names. 1, 2, 3. Brandon Carl finishes fourth. Jay Bast fifth. Aaron Smith sixth. And actually, I lied to you, but you know. Anyway, they were up front all night long anyway. But Evan Hoopjack rather 7th. Devin Jack 8th. Cameron Caldwell 9th. Brandon Brush finishing in 10th.
11th is going to go to James Moore. 12th going to be Daniel Ott. 13th, Ryan Campbell. 14th going to go to Chuck Labano. 15th, Mike Thompson. 16th, Andrew White. 17th, Sean Johnson. 18th is going to be Laura Wiseman. 19th, Michael McCoy. And 20th is going to be Samuel Stoner.
Michael Kruger. Tough race for him. 21st. Mark Royce. 1 lap down, 22nd. Nick Sarif, 23rd. Chris Winslow, 24th. Tom Wendt, 25th. Kenneth a step, 26th. Brandon Weaver, 27th. Robert Bropes, 28th. Dakota Knoll, 29th. And didn't start, Michael Goodger is on the list as well. So that is our finishing results. And we're going to go ahead and head to interviews. We're going to take Aaron Smith first. And Aaron Smith, you won that first race. We didn't interview you between the races, but you were able to get the win. So it was pretty interesting. You got the lead back. Had to run down for it. What was it like there in that short sprint?
sure what the tires were going to do. I only did about maybe 2 or 3 laps at a time in practice, so I wasn't sure how the car would handle in traffic either, so I figured I'd sit behind Dustin and let my tires kind of warm up before I started really fighting for it, and I got to him halfway, and I was able to pass him and run away with it.
Now, Dustin just really took off. I was surprised with the lead that Dustin had gotten. Were you worried at all seeing that he was way out there? Did you know how your strategy was going to play out?
Yeah, I had a feeling I'd catch up to him after the first few times he kind of missed the corner there and really warmed up his right sides. I wanted to avoid that at all costs, even if it meant giving up third for Brian, but yeah, I'm glad it worked out the way it did.
Sponsors, shout-outs, who'd you like to thank for that win?
Well, I'd like to thank all the folks at Palm Rat Golf for supporting the league, and all the folks at Road and Plate for having me again this season. Won't be able to run the full schedule this time around, but I'll be able to put up a pretty good fight until then, so I'm looking forward to it. And I'd like to thank y'all for broadcasting, all the folks for watching. I'm looking forward to getting back at it whenever I show up next.
All right, congrats on that win in little sprint there, and 6th place finish in the main race.
Yep, thank you.
And that was Aaron Smith. We're going to turn things over to Jonathan Canfield, who has our 3rd place finisher from the second race, Dustin Bali.
Dustin Bali, you're able to bring it home 3rd, and what was, I guess, a good recovery for you after the first race. You finished, I believe, 2nd there, and good to bring it home 3rd here tonight in the 2nd race. Let's just go ahead and go over both races. The first one, you bring it home 2nd. How did that one feel for you? And then for the 2nd race, how did it feel? And did it feel like you were kind of falling there, or were you just back there conserving tire and hoping for something to happen? How did the 2nd race go for you in comparison to the first one?
No, I think with the way the format was, we were all kind of balls to the wall the entire time because the pit window was 18 laps, so we're running 55% fuel in this series, so it's kind of all a sprint race. I tried to take care of the tires a little bit, but yeah, the sprint went really well. The speed compared to Aaron was unexpected, so it was nice to lead those first 9 laps, and I thought I was going to hold him off there for a little bit, but he's got greater talent, greater experience, special sauce, and was able to get past. But I was glad to hang on to him a little bit, and then when we flipped the top 10 for the feature, I just couldn't get by anybody. It just Jay Bass was fighting really hard, Sean Johnson was fighting really hard, James Moore was fighting really hard. They're all really quick, and it was just really hard to pass. And so when I saw them dive for the pits at the end there, I said, this is my chance. I'm gonna go up there and see what we can hang on for. And fortunately, we'd made it one corner and locked in the top 3. So it was good. The performance was there in the sprint race definitely, but it was so hard to pass. There was really one lane, and yeah, there's a lot of fast drivers out there. It's hard to get by people.
Yeah, you mentioned the passing. We were able to see the other 2 competitors that you were competing with in that first sprint in Molitor and Smith both make their way forward. Did at any point while you were back there behind them, did you just think about maybe trying to follow them, or did you just feel like you didn't have the pace to follow them at the time?
I didn't have the pace or the talent. I think I got trapped behind a couple of guys, and maybe I don't know if I could have been more aggressive. I felt like every time I tried to be aggressive, the car just stepped out. So it felt like there wasn't a whole lot that we could do. But I think we were probably on board or on pace for an 8th finish or whatever in the feature before the caution. But it was a good night. I'll take it, and we ran good in the sprint. So maybe we'll. I'm interested to see during the season if because this field is so tight, if people are literally going to hang back in the sprint. Because last season I feel like no one hung back in the sprint, and then we just let the feature kind of span out as it may. But I think that because everyone is so quick and so close, and we have so many cars, that I think you're going to see some people maybe holding some speed for the feature.
All right, well, one last thing before we let you go hang out and celebrate your 3rd place finish here tonight. Any sponsors, shout-outs, or anybody you got to thank for that 3rd place finish here tonight?
First of all, I want to thank you guys for broadcasting, jumping in this season. It's great to have you on board. I want to thank Palm Rat Golf for sponsoring the league. I want to thank everyone who's supporting me at home, my wife, Rebecca, parents, Tom and Deb, mother-in-law, Karen, and anyone else out there cheering me on. I appreciate you very much. I can't wait to see you guys next week.
All right, that is your third place finisher, Dustin Bally. I believe we'll send it back over to Josh, who should have our second place finisher in that second race.
Indeed, I do. So, Brian, my first question for you is, I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing your name right. How do you pronounce your last name?
It's a Molitor.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
First of all, congrats on the second place finish to you tonight. A little bit of strategy there at the end, but overall, I mean, a good night for you between the two races. What was it like out there for you?
It was a tire-saving race for the most part. I thought I was taking pretty good care of them in the sprint race behind Dustin. Then we came to about 4 to go, and I had nothing at the front. Just the front right gave up on me, and I thought I was going to have something for those guys. So I made sure in the future to take extra good care of them and saved a little fuel, went long, and yeah, did tire saving, fuel saving, and it got me to the front in the end. A little lucky, though, I would say.
Yeah, there was some strategy played there with the yellow coming out. I mean, had it stayed green, under the green-white checkered, do you think you would have had anything for Matt?
When I made the decision to stay out, I was really hoping more people would stay out behind me and give me a big buffer. And then I could go head-to-head with Matt. I knew I had better tires, so I was pretty sure I'd take care of him. And then it would just be a matter of the guys behind me holding off the guys on fresh tires. But talking to Aaron, it sounds like they got a pretty good start, and I probably would have been in trouble. So I was happy for that second yellow.
All right. Well, sponsors, shout-outs, who gets it done for you to bring that 4 machine home to a second-place finish tonight?
I would just like to thank Palm Rat Golf for putting on the league and getting all the streaming and everything taken care of, and Dustin for organizing all of it. And then, of course, you guys up in the booth. Appreciate it.
Alrighty. Well, congrats on the second place finish, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thank you, gents.
That was Brian Molitor, who finished in second. We're going to pass things back to Jonathan Canfield, who has our race winner.
Indeed, I do. And Matt Schluser, first of all, are we pronouncing that last name correctly, just to make sure we're getting it right?
Hey, it's Schlosser is how you say it.
Schlosser. Okay, there we go. Well, apologies in advance when you watch this back. We have pronounced it wrong all night long. But we will get it right from this point forward. But you're able to get the victory here tonight. First of all, congratulations on the win. How did the race here go for you? What did you feel like in race 1? And how do you compare the two?
Yeah, race 1 just kind of felt like an all-out sprint. You know, the tires didn't really get ugly till the very end, so I kind of pushed it. Was hoping to get a little bit higher up, but then burned everything up and just kind of held on to 5th place. In the feature race, in the longer race, you know, I was pleasantly surprised I was able to kind of hang on to the top 3 in the beginning and then actually move into the lead. Like, I kind of thought there were some fast guys coming, but you know, they might have been saving or just racing back there. And then, yeah, it was, you know, pit stop was tricky. I had a kind of a gnarly race off pit road with the 40 car. That was almost ending in disaster. We were side by side in the exit lane. But yeah, after that, it got really intense at the front, and then that caution came out and everything changed, and I just kind of things worked out for me, so it was awesome to get that win.
Yeah, you mentioned that last that caution that came out that draws the green-white checkered. I mean, from what we heard and what we've seen, it looked like you guys were going to be wrapped up pretty quickly with guys that got fresh tires. Were you a little nervous there, staying out on that green-white checkered, or Were you just going to try and run the rest of your race and see what happened?
Yeah, I was definitely nervous. I kind of felt like I was not going to have much of a chance. I thought if I stayed out, I was going to get swallowed up by faster tires, and if I pit, I might get just stuck in traffic, and kind of realized there was only one green white checker, so I thought, why not kind of roll the dice, and if there's some type of chaos in the first turn, which there was, it freezes the field, and I luck out and manage to win it. I think if it stays green, there was Aaron, I think Devin and a few others just had really fresh tires, obviously, and they were only a couple rows back. And I think, if it stays green, I was probably looking at a top 5, but figured I'd try and roll the dice, and it actually worked for me. I usually don't have much luck with strategy, but this one worked, so it feels good.
All right, and last thing before we let you go, let's go ahead and see if you have any shout-out sponsors, anybody you'd like to thank, and who gets you to that victory lane here tonight. Yeah,
sure. First off, thank you to the league, Dustin, and for adminning things and running everything, and thanks to Palm Rat Golf for sponsoring and getting us broadcasted. This is my first full season in the league, so I appreciate everybody welcoming me in, and everybody's been really cool and nice, so it's been a fun time, and looking forward to more racing. And thanks to you guys, broadcasters, obviously, for doing your thing. Looking forward to watching the replay and stuff, and yeah, that's pretty much everything I got.
All right, well, congrats again on the win, and we'll let you go celebrate that victory.
All right, thank you.
And Josh, how do we wrap this one all up? It was kind of an interesting night, that's for sure, having the little sprint there at the beginning, and then a doubled in length race there as our second race. But man, we've seen a lot there.
Yeah, first, I just want to say, even though we were pronouncing his name wrong, I'm glad to find out that it's not Schluser, because he definitely was not a loser tonight. He was a Schwinner. But dad jokes aside, no, I thought it was an incredible night. 2 awesome races that we saw here at the Indianapolis Oval. For Road and Plate, I'm looking forward to how the rest of the season is going to go. I think tonight was pretty fun, John. Glad to have you back and in the booth with me tonight. But what were your overall thoughts?
My overall thoughts are I am very jealous of whoever takes my seat if I am not able to return for this specific series, or even, every series that we seem to broadcast here on JCTV, we always get treated to something different, but also something very, very entertaining. The first race, you talk about going green all the way to the end. You watch, Aaron Smith methodically drop back, and then reel back in the leader and pass him for the win, and that was very nice to see it for a short little sprint race, somebody playing a tire strategy there, if you will, to get the lead back. And then race 2, relatively green and clean all the way up until the very last moment. We have one incident, and we get a green and white checkered, and some guys that gambled on strategy who, kind of just needed a little bit of luck, got their luck right there at the end, and they bring home solid top 5 finishes, and our top 3 practically all rolled the dice there and got a good finish out of it.
So, before we go, I just once again want to talk about the series sponsor. Life's really not that complicated, and neither should it be when looking for golf clothes that fit your lifestyle. Palm Rat Golf is designed to allow you to move seamlessly from the office to the fairway to hanging out with friends and family. Visit palmratgolf.com today to browse their collection of fine golf apparel, including polos, pullovers, pants, and more. Next week, let's go ahead and pull that schedule up again. We are at a track that I've never even heard of. Apparently, it's free on iRacing, so I'm going to have to learn it. I do have it, but Navarra, I don't know anything about that racetrack other than it's a road course. So immediately we got our first oval, and week 2 we're going to see our first road course and see the other side of what these guys are about. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I think I really do love road courses. I think it is an awesome, different type of racing than what I'm used to. Me being a NASCAR guy, always watched ovals and the road courses when they throw them in. But I do like road courses too. I just can't drive on them, and that's why I'm in the booth, not out there on the track. But they are still so fun to watch, fun to call. Looking forward to that one next week. More JCTV action on Saturday night, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hey, more Indianapolis. Blazer Sim Racing Amsoil Truck Series is right here at the Indy Oval. And then Tuesday night, Slide Job Racing League starts race number 1 of their playoffs, or rather chase. And they are going to be at Darlington for a throwback race. And that one is going to start at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. And then right back here next Thursday at Navarra. Same time as tonight. 8:45 p.m. Eastern. So, plenty of action coming up you're not going to want to miss. Thank you to all the drivers. Put on a great show. All the fans for watching. The admins for making this happen. Justin Rand. Big shout out to him as well. And on behalf of Jonathan Canfield and the entire outstanding crew right here at JCTV, I'm Joshua Copperl. I want to thank you for watching. And stay safe. And we'll see you next time. Take care.